He says that you are a couples counselor and that you watch our show all the time. And I am discouraged for you. If you're a couples counselor, we need your help. Actually, it's too late. Well, actually, you could save some of us. Anyway, thanks for your service as a couples counselor.
And not being the happy Christine that you like, that you fell in love with, the woman that lifted your burden, that became a heavy lift for you.
I'm going to ask you now, Suki.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Christina anymore.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I feel so much more energized now that I'm actually feeling better and I can actually breathe and I don't have to make sure that clear my throat every 5 seconds and my nose isn't running so much. So for those of you that have noticed that I'm perkier, that's why I'm literally feeling better. Yesterday, my Sister Wives video I got so many amazing comments. I asked you to leave me a comment if you have never commented before, and so many of you said hi for the very first time, and it was truly awesome to hear from you, to hear where you were commenting from. People in New Zealand and in Portugal, people that were in Australia, people that were in the Netherlands and Finland. I was like, whoa, there's people all over the world that are watching me. This is incredible. I also noticed that some of you had the best feedback. So I'm going to ask you again to please, if you have not left me a comment before, leave me a comment. I am loving this. Also, I'm almost at 6,000 likes on yesterday's video. So let's go on trend here and do another one. Let's get to 6,000 on this one. And as always, YouTube is letting me know that you're not subscribed and you're watching a lot. A lot of you are watching daily and not subscribed. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I'm almost at 230,000 and I would love to get there soon. So do me a solid and please subscribe to the channel. But I had to share this comment with you because this comment had the most likes and I pinned it in my last video, and it was a take on the situation that I hadn't even considered. We were talking about Kody and Robin and sort of where their unhappiness is, and it's going to lead into this video, which is interesting. So this is what the person said. It comes from Karen Milky. Thank you for this comment, Karen. She said, Kody must realize that his relationship with Robin has ruined his brand. He is demonized. He has undermined the whole premise of Sister Wives. His children are estranged, and both Christine and Janelle are living their best lives surrounded by the kids. And then the comments were all in agreement with her, saying, this is an interesting take. And it's something I hadn't even considered. When the show started, it was all about, we are a happy family. We just want to normalize the fact that we're polygamists. We want to make sure we want to come out of the shadows. We want to make it safe for people so that they don't feel like they have to hide anymore. We are done hiding. We just want to be accepted. We want people to understand that we have had a positive experience, that not every experience in polygamy is wrong. That's where it started. And today, where they're at is so opposite of that. And over the last 10 years, it's been this transition from Kody actually making time for all of his wives to one of the wives sort of alienating Kody, and Kody going along with it, mind you, and also deciding that Robin's the one for him because she goes along with everything that he says. They've kind of stuck together, and now I think they're miserable. That's just my hot take. I don't know if it's true. It's just the sense that I get.
Christine says they're divorced. And technically, in my head, they're not, but...
So if Kody and Robin's relationship is struggling, and she said that last season, that she's sort of had a tough time with his attitude, and then they're out seen in public, and she's crabby, and she looks irritated and mad. Is it shocking that Kody's on Cameo and he's talking about how his family needs therapy and they are in crisis. Yeah, that happened. So there was a TikToker that posted this, but it's a video of Kody basically saying to someone who is a therapist that he's so grateful for them, but that he needs it for him, and that this person loves to watch the show, but he thought it was sort of funny that they did, given how messy their family is.
Says that you are a couples counselor and that you watch our show all the time, and I am discouraged for you. If you're a couples counselor, we need your help. Actually, it's too late. Well, actually, you could save some of us. Anyway, thanks for your service as a couples counselor.
Kody says, couples counselor, we actually need help. Well, wait, it's too late. Okay, it's too late because Christina's gone, right? But then he says, but you could probably save some of us, with this like laugh. I truly believe that even though some of these wives are still there, like in body, I don't believe that he actually has any sort of intimacy with either Mary or Janelle. I think he's essentially in a monogamous marriage with Robin, even though he has these other two wives and kids with them. I do not see that they have any much affection between the two of them. And at any time that Janelle goes traveling, she doesn't go with Kody. She's always by herself. She goes to North Carolina to see her kids by herself. She's in Portugal and she's not with Kody. She's out on Coyote Pass and she's not with Kody. There was, interestingly, I should note, there was a brand new Cameo and Kody was out at Coyote Pass, sort of at the place where I believe her RV is going to be sitting. And he was trying to sort of brag that there was stuff happening there, although it was very hard to see what they were actually doing, and it looked like they were doing very limited anything at that point.
For me, because it's windy out here at Coyote Pass, but I want you to see it. And you can see here, we're doing a little bit of work on Coyote Pass. We're at least beginning. You can see over there, we got some things going. We got some stuff going on. Anyway, listen, she wanted me to give you some advice.
But he was like, yeah, see, we're getting to work here. There was no trucks. There was nothing. It wasn't like there was excavating happening. I don't know. Kody's trying to like prove Peyton wrong, maybe. You know, I would love to see Kody actually respond publicly to what Peyton is saying to see actually how things are going. Like, no, he's lying, or no, that's not true. You know, he is estranged from most of his kids now. He's got wives that don't like him, and he's even admitting here, yeah, we need some help, and we could use some saving. And then got Mary on constantly posting about being put through hell, and she's so strong, and she's so brave, and she's so sad. And Kody's like, yeah, my relationships suck. I need help. I need counseling.
I feel stymied because everything we've done has always had to be by committee.
Is that where you guys want to go?
No.
No, I don't.
There are very few decisions I'm ever allowed to make in this family.
You know what they say is that on the show, Kody is so brooding and intense, and they've done counseling before. And have you watched any of the counseling that they do? Kody never takes accountability for anything. It's always the woman's fault. And then if it's not the woman's fault, it's the women pitting each other against each other, or Kody pitting the women against each other, or Robin slyly not agreeing with the wives and throwing the wives under the bus while she subtly kisses Kody's butt.
Really?
Somebody's got to be the head. Somebody's got to be the leader. I really want that to be Kody.
When have I been in charge of this family? When? When have we ever?
So Kody's like, we need help. We need a couples counselor. We need to be saved. We need to be saved. How many of you think that Kody would throw in the towel with some of these wives and add new wives so that he didn't have to deal with like the baggage of the older wives? Do you remember back on season 6 when Mariah was wanting Kody and her dad and Mary to have a kid, and they finally decided not to have a child? Do you remember that? And they sat Mariah down and they explained to her, like, we're not going to do IVF. We don't really want to mess with God's plan. We don't want to use science. We want this to happen naturally.
I don't want to go through the emotional roller coaster again. It's just too hard. And I just didn't want to. I needed to, you know, fix what was going on in my life, and I did not want to add that. And I just did not feel up to the emotions of trying in vitro. So I turned him down.
And Mary at this point was like in her 40s. Not to say there's anything wrong with anyone in their 40s having kids. I'm in my 40s. I think age for Mary was a factor, and the fact that Mariah was leaving and she was going to have this hole in her life. She was like, do I want to have a kid? Do I not want to have a kid? Or am I just going to replace a kid? That kind of thing. So Mary's life changed because she's like crying in one episode saying that she doesn't identify anymore with her sister wives. Her lives are not on the same trajectory. She doesn't know what her identity is in the family. She doesn't know where she fits. She's going to become an empty nester without Kody there because Kody is dealing with young kids with some of his other wives. Because at this point, at that point in their time, Truly was like 3 or 4. Savannah was like 5 maybe, and you had Solomon who was like 2, and Ariella wasn't even born. So there was little kids still from all 3 wives, and Mary's oldest was leaving for college.
I'm in this place where I just feel alone, isolated, lonely. I don't feel like anybody else in the family can even relate. I'm feeling at a place of limbo right now. I don't know what I need to do is what I'm saying. I'm going to be doing something, but I don't know what it is that I need to do.
That's when, to me, everything changed with Mary. That's when, and then he says no, Mariah leaves, and then everything goes haywire for Mary. I think this is a gradual process for all of the wives as they age out of having children. And I think they're very keenly aware of the fact that once they're no longer necessary to him for having a child, because in their religion, having children is what they need to go to their kingdom, for their celestial kingdom, blah, blah, blah. So that's also why I think that Robin was like toying around with the idea of, I'm not done. I still need to bring my spirit babies down to earth. I think there's more children out there. I think I need to have another child. Because once you finally close that door, Robin has seen what happens when that door is closed. Robin sees that once you're done having kids, what he does with you. He discards you. He didn't, when Christine was done and she said, I'm done, I've had 6, it's good, we're done, Truly's my last, Kody discarded her and found Robin, knowing that that was his the last child.
I like 3 wives a lot, and I'm kind of more hesitant in adding another wife. I like it easy, and so I kind of like just having 3.
So let's go to bed.
Child. So Robin dangling the carrot, she's watching what Mary did. Mary dangled the carrot of, let's have another kid. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. And so the very last moment where she couldn't dangle it anymore and they stopped the process. And at that point, Kody turned things off. He turned things off with Janelle as well. So Robin theoretically could be holding on to this idea of having a kid, hoping that she can string him along long enough to that he won't want to have any more kids anymore. And then finally, he'll be done. He doesn't want to bring in a new wife. But I think that Kody's such a narcissist, and I don't know that he's a narcissist, but I think he's narcissistic, to believe that he's still young enough to have as many kids as he wants. He's in his 50s. I mean, plenty of fathers have children in their 50s. No shade there. But he has 17, 18 kids, right? There's no need for him to have any more. But he also is narcissistic, in my opinion, and so he might want to have more kids and have to replace Christine. He might be afraid that Janelle might leave. He might be afraid that Mary might leave. So he wants to have X amount of wives if he still buys into this belief system. And Peyton believes that his dad still believes parts of the system, and he thinks that Robin believes it. So if that's the case, they need to have more wives. They're barely in the celestial kingdom at this point. So they need help. Robin might be modeling what Mary did, and they need to save some other people. All of Kody's relationships fall apart after the wives stop producing children for him. And if he's done with kids, he might stick around and actually be loyal to Robin, or he might have to get a new wife so that he can bring more kids into this world, which we don't need anymore. Kody Brown kids being neglected by their dad. I mean, let's just be honest. So what are your thoughts about this? Am I onto something? Am I not onto something? Again, reminder, like, comment if you've never commented before, like, and subscribe, and let's get in the comments and have some fun. Bye, guys.